Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I think I'm gonna try to start doing like a end of week kind of a recap on everything. That way I can just kind of give maybe people a little bit of notion of what happened and what could happen the following weeks. One thing in particular that's like really catching a lot of news that I feel like most people kind of snub it. They don't care, but it's actually like something like a global economic potential disaster that could happen, and that is dealing a lot with the French election. Now, despite what your views are or what people in France think and everything, with Brexit already basically happening, Britain wanting to leave the EU. If Le Pen wins, she wants to basically follow suit, so that's two countries like exiting that union. The union will collapse. The euro will collapse, and we don't we're not no country is really on like the gold standard anymore. Like I think it was Reagan, I want to say, that took the United States off the gold standard. I could be wrong. Follow up on that, but so our money's not backed by anything. So, and it's basically backed by other currencies. So that's why you hear like, market manipulation, currency manipulation and all that, because it's just one country against another. But if the EU falls apart, that's a big part of the world. That's a big part of our global economy, and that's like concerning to me. But at the same time, like I've said in other videos, thankfully at this stage of my life, I don't have very much invested. But that doesn't mean I want to lose money if there's a crash. You know what I mean? But if that does happen, then be prepared. To ride through it. And then when prices seem like they're kind of bottoming out, going sideways, it's time to get in. But a lot of what a lot of with that happening, I'm starting to think more and more about hedging myself against it, and that's kind of the reason why I started doing Bitcoin trading, because I basically don't want to buy gold. I think gold's kind of played out, and again, like I said, all the countries kind of took themselves, or a majority of the countries kind of took themselves off like a gold backed currency. So they don't have any support on it now. You can still buy gold, obviously, because it's tangible. That's a precious metal. You can hold on to it. It'll retain value. Even stupid analogy, but like even like if there's like an apocalypse, like you could throw around money, like people don't give a fuck. They'll just burn it to keep themselves warm at night. But you have that gold, that precious metal, that's always gonna mean something. And I think that's why people still hold on to it. But I think with the advent of new technologies and altcoins and currencies like Bitcoin, I think that's a better way to go, like more forward thinking, because that's a space that's only going to continue to grow, and it's global. It's interconnected. It's all through the internet, so anybody in any country at any time could be on this market exchange for any reason, as long as you basically have an internet connection, and in some case just an email. But I'm looking kind of in that avenue to increase more Bitcoin as well as some Ethereum. And then I've been reading more and more. I believe Litecoin, which is a different altcoin, might be added to the Coinbase exchange here. So you might be seeing three coins trading, and I'm gonna buy into it, and I'll tell you why. But first, let me just go over what Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum is Bitcoin is basically the currency of the internet. If you want to give it a very plain explanation, but since the advent of altcoins, meaning just other coins that are very similar to Bitcoin, just made by other people and made with different algorithms and some of them for different purposes, Bitcoin is kind of viewed as like the gold standard of the internet. It's basically like buying gold. It's like the safer investment because it's more known, bigger market cap, more volume traded, more globally backed by other currencies like US dollar to Bitcoin, the yen to Bitcoin, the euro to Bitcoin, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like the gold standard of internet. So I think it is good to hold on to it. And what Ethereum is it's not a currency, or it's not designed really for as a currency. What it is it's designed off of the blockchain system which Bitcoin works off of, which is basically how the transactions and everything are made person to person. Every transaction that's made, basically, like if I send Bitcoin to you or you send Bitcoin to something, every transaction that's ever started up till that transaction basically gets sent out to everybody, and that's how the system basically updates. So there is no middleman, there is no bank, there is no third party system to interfere or corrupt it. That's basically the beauty of it. And of course, down the road, people are talking about a potential split in Bitcoin because it can't scale, basically meaning too many people are getting into it and buying it. And, it was never meant to be this big, the guy that released it. So, they're trying to work on that. But, with all these alternative coins, it gives you better options. But Ethereum basically takes that platform, that blockchain platform, and makes it so you can kind of make your own use out of it. It's basically a foundation, and then people can come in and build off of it, kind of like Android software. You could use it for multiple phones and services. As long as like Samsung, HTC, other phones basically excluding iPhone, where iPhone is proprietary, where you can only use iPhone software on it. Android can be used on a bunch of different hardware devices, and it's the software. And then even app developers can create their own apps and put it on the app store. Everybody can contribute. So they kind of build a platform, and everybody builds upon it. So that's kind of what Ethereum's trying to do, and I think it's very interesting, and I think it really is like game changing. But like I'm gonna be adding more to it. The reason why you only see a buck 75 in it right now is because those other apps I showed in previous videos where you can basically create Bitcoin from just playing games and stuff. That's about just how much I earned so far. But there's more coming, and also I just threw an extra $100 on top because there's some news coming out next month about possibly, I think China, one of their exchanges possibly adopting Ethereum. So I think that's gonna give it a boost. But with Litecoin, which is possibly, like I said, it seems from articles and everything, like it seems like it's going to happen, but there's still like prerequisites that need to happen before it can be done. But if Litecoin does come onto the market, Litecoin is a currency like Bitcoin and unlike Ethereum, where Litecoin is I guess being viewed as silver in a sense, where Bitcoin is gold, Litecoin is silver. It's trying to be a good hedge, a good safe haven for your money, and at the same time trying to be on multiple exchanges where you can convert. Instead of Bitcoin to US dollar, you have Litecoin to US dollar. Instead of Bitcoin to the yen, you have Litecoin to the yen. You have more options and versatility that way. So I'm kind of in the camp where, like, if I'm already buying Bitcoin, do I need Litecoin? Because it's kind of the same thing. But at the same time, recognizing Bitcoin's really shot up. I see on this alt chart here, and like I said, people speculate it's in a bubble. I doubt it. I think it's just going sideways right now because it has returned to all-time highs. It's just trying to slowly creep back up. But I will probably invest in Litecoin. I think the fact that Coinbase, which is like one of the largest wallets slash exchanges, I think in the U.S. pretty much, like the fact that it's going to adopt it, I think that's just such a big boost to it. That means that this is like a legitimate coin and it's going to be around a while. So that's kind of why I think I'm going to get into it when it comes out, or if it comes out, I should say. But I was hoping that Monero would be a coin that would be adopted, because Monero is basically like Darkcoin and Dashcoin, or it's super secretive. Like the whole point of it is to be like dark web type purchases going back and forth. Where, I mean, a lot of shit's bad. I'm not gonna lie, but they can hide themselves well using the Monero coin, because it's completely or it's a lot better secretive. The algorithm's a lot more complicated, I guess. But I think Litecoin's gonna be the one that comes in instead. So if Monero comes down the line, then I'll talk about that one more if I eventually get it going. But I think Litecoin's eventually what's going to happen. But like I said, I'm choosing to go into the cryptocurrency market rather than into the gold market, if this collapse, as I'm kind of laying out, happens. Now, it's not just me saying it. There are a lot of people that feel the same way. Like, we've usually, like every 7 or 8 years, we have a correction, where the market runs up and then it kind of corrects itself, it crashes, and it runs up and it corrects itself and it crashes. And we're kind of pushing beyond that point right now, where we're just keep going up. We keep going up, and everyone feels like Trump has a big, or at least he thinks he has a big part of that, because like people are believing in him so much, that he alone is the reason why the stock market's doing so well. But obviously, there's many factors in a global economy than just one man that could influence. But definitely a big part of it, though. Still, nonetheless. But I mean, going forward, like I said, you'll see Bitcoin in my rotation. But I just want to put that in there because, like I said, with this election, it's huge. I don't think people give it enough credit. Like just because, like I'm in the U.S., like obviously, a lot of people here, they're gonna be like, I only give a fuck about the United States election. I'm like, why? Like we're not just the United States on the planet. There's like over 100 countries, around the world. You should at least pay attention to like a lot of the bigger ones that we do trade with at the very least. But like I said, if Le Pen wins, she wants to kind of follow suit with Britain and Theresa May. So I mean, I think that could collapse the EU for sure. Just one country after another trying to get out, and there's like a couple other countries I think that tried, but I think they were unsuccessful in it. But France is kind of a big deal. I mean, there's a lot of coverage going on with them right now. But if Macron, the opponent, wins, which I think he's kind of an interesting guy because he's not in a party. He's like we have like Republican Democrat, like he's not in a party. He's just running on his own, and his campaign message is more like, I'm not campaigning for this party. I'm campaigning for a movement to make change and make things better, in that light, which I think is kind of interesting. But despite that, I think if he wins, though, I think it'll kind of, or it will, France will stay in the EU. Maybe trade deals will be negotiated. Maybe some things will change, but I think it'll be more stable for the EU staying together than the Le Pen winning and her trying to have like I'm sure they're already calling Frexit, which is like the France exit. But I think in that space in general, though, just there's a lot of speculation on it. I like I said, I'm going into cryptocurrency just as a hedge against it, and I'm trying to build up some money. I don't anticipate moving money from my other apps into this one. I mean, unless it gets crazy down the road, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to build these. And like I said, if that Litecoin comes out, I'm gonna add it onto here. Now there are cryptocurrency exchanges where there's like hundreds of more coins you can trade. But I'm taking it step by step. I'm starting out with this. So Coinbase is like a good start because a lot of people use it. It's more trusted. It acts as a wallet and an exchange, so you can not only hold your currency, but you can also buy and sell it, which is really nice. But with that though, I'm gonna follow up on this probably more as it gets closer. I think in May, towards the beginning of May, is when France will finally have will have the vote of who won. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, as always, if y'all have questions on it, or even if you have your own concerns of what you think might happen, I mean, be sure to leave me a comment. Let me know. It'd be an interesting conversation to have with everyone. And as always, if you guys like my channel, help me out. Click like, subscribe. Share it. Tell your friends. Maybe they can learn something, or they could help me learn something. We can all benefit from this. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend.